Hello you guys, it is the next day. I just heated up some of these stuffed shells that we made yesterday. Technically, I think you guys are gonna see this video in a week. So last week for you guys. I'm just eating some. It's 2 o'clock. I haven't eaten breakfast or lunch. So this is my late lunch. Kind of like my early dinner, to be honest. And it started snowing. I came down here and I looked out the window and it's snowing. I had no idea it's supposed to snow, but I'm very excited and I hope it sticks because Hazel loves the snow. So I'm just eating some food and then we're gonna get started and make some things. I want to make breadcrumbs, marshmallows, maybe tortillas if I get to that, and chocolate chip cookies, which I gotta prepare, which won't bake till tomorrow, but I want to get those done. So yeah, we have some stuff I want to get done today with my sourdough starter. First thing I'm gonna do is take out my bread from the freezer. I have just like a bag of bread. I usually put like the ends in here, or any bread that we don't eat up fast enough. I just kind of throw in here if it's been out for a while, and I just kind of save it. So I'm going to spread this out onto my baking dish right here. I'm gonna let it defrost first before I bake it. And then we will bake it until it like dries out, and I might, oh no, I might cut these up into smaller, probably will, just so I can make sure that they will bake evenly. So I'll probably chop them up once these are defrosted. I fed my sourdough starter earlier this morning, but you could see it's already falling from where that top line was. I did want to make some blueberry bread though. I don't know, I'm really in the mood for blueberry bread. So I got some blueberries yesterday. I'm gonna throw them into this. I gotta get them washed and rinsed. So they're in here. Fill this up with some water and vinegar, baking soda, and water. So here's a splash of vinegar. Gonna get some baking soda, and then I'll fill the rest up with some water. And I'm just gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes. So I haven't made a lemon blueberry loaf in a long time. So I'm just looking on my phone on the recipe, but I need 350 grams of water, 75 grams of starter, alright, that's definitely a little bit more. We got almost 100 grams of starter here instead, but it's okay. Alright, in terms of sugar, we need 3 tablespoons of regular sugar. And then we also need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Alexa, stop timer. Okay, 10 grams of salt. And 500 grams of flour. I'm just going to make sure that's all mixed in really well. I'm definitely going to have to refill this. Yep, that's only not even 200 grams. Okay, it's a little over 5, but it's fine. And then while I'm at it, I'll refill this container. And we're gonna mix this all together. After this, we're gonna let this sit for a little while, but then we will mix in the blueberries and the lemon. Okay, so that is ready I'm just gonna cover it up with a bowl cover. And then we'll do some stretch and folds in about an hour. You guys heard my timer go off for my blueberries, so I gotta get these rinsed and whatever. All right, I don't know how good that's gonna be. They're definitely on the sour side. I got a new zester thing, whatever it's called. So this one is called, like the brand is Microplane, and I just got it on Amazon. Obviously it's pink. But this is for zesting a lemon, and I need 1 lemon in here. So, oh my God, that's so much easier. Okay, I like it. I would always struggle with this because I felt like I needed to press down really hard on all the other kind of tools that I do have, but this is great. Like I'm barely like pressing down, it's just the weight of the lemon. Okay, so my 1 lemon is zested. The recipe says to do 2. I have always done 1, and I think it's been like the perfect amount of lemon zest flavor, but that did such a good job of zesting my lemon. And because I always have to save everything, I'm gonna cut this lemon in half, and I'm gonna squeeze out all of the lemon juice, and we're just gonna store it in this mason jar, and I could add it to tea and whatnot. So I'm just gonna have that ready to go. Okay guys, my breadcrumbs are in the oven. I did my sourdough chocolate chip cookies. I wasn't talking because I was on the phone with my mom, but it's nothing new. I've made all this stuff on my channel before, but I will also link the chocolate chip cookie recipe down below. The breadcrumbs, I can link my Instagram post, but I have it on Instagram of how I make my breadcrumbs, but I just bake them for 350 degrees for like, I don't know, until they're dry feeling, probably around like 20 or so minutes. And then I just add in some ingredients after. Once it's dry, I will put them in a food processor, get them kind of finer to be crumbs, and I add in some seasonings. That's what I do. So let's see what seasonings do I add? So seasonings that I add in is salt, and Italian seasoning, onion powder, and garlic powder. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but that's what I add in for my breadcrumbs. So yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna get my marshmallows started now. So I will, yeah, let's get started on that. So I gotta find the marshmallow recipe. I have it in my drawer here somewhere. A bunch of pickled cucumbers. Oh, I could throw that out. Sourdough tortillas. Marshmallows. All right. We got my marshmallows just written on a piece of paper. First up, I need 2 cups of cold water. So we got that, and then I'm gonna do 7 tablespoons of gelatin, and you're just gonna kind of put this in there and let it bloom. So 7 tablespoons, not 7 scoops, because there is a scooper in here. It's not that, it's 7 actual tablespoons. And you just kind of like sprinkle it across. So there's 1. I always have a hard time counting. I always lose count at some point. So hopefully I don't. Here's 2. Let's go with 3, 4, 5. Here's 6 and 7. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that bloom. I made some marshmallows, I think, I don't know, like a week and a half ago, and I used egg whites, because there was another recipe where you could use egg whites for your marshmallows, and I had a ton of egg whites because since I've been making ice cream, my ice cream only uses egg yolks. So I had a ton of egg whites, so I did that recipe, and those apparently like will roast like real marshmallows do, which I didn't get to test out. But for my coffee and stuff, I like this recipe so much better rather than the egg white recipe. The egg white ones kind of turned yellowy and they got a little slimier. These don't do that, so that's why I'm making a new batch of marshmallows. I'm just gonna get the rest of the ingredients ready. So the rest of the stuff is 3/4 cup of maple syrup. So I'm just gonna pour this all in here, and then we're gonna put this into my bowl here. It's not gonna get heated up, it's just kind of gonna get blended in after I do get a chance to heat up that other gelatin. So 3/4 cup of that, and then about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I got my homemade vanilla extract. I know it's in a McCormick bottle. It's not McCormick, it's my homemade one. And I'm just putting a nice big splash in there. So that is all you need for the marshmallows. And the gelatin I use is from a company called Perfect Supplements. It's bovine or bovine, however you say it, gelatin, in case you guys want to get some. This is what it looks like, grass-fed bovine gelatin. Okay, we have all the other stuff prepared. Here is my blueberry kind of bread. So I'm just gonna do a light stretch and fold. And we're gonna add in my blueberries and my lemon zest. So I'm just gonna throw some of these in there. You need like 1/2 cup. I'm not really sure what 1/2 cup is. So we're just throwing some in there, and then all of my lemon zest. So they will tell you to do stretches and folds for this. I swirl mine around until it's like kind of combined because I want it combined. Do stretches and folds while throwing in some blueberries and just really making sure they're all stuck in the dough. And then I'll do more stretches and folds, and some will fall out like throughout the process, but you just kind of just like stick them back into the dough. And then we're gonna let this rest for another little while before we come back in about like 30 or so minutes and do another stretch and fold. All right, so I'm just gonna put my bowl cover back on, and yeah, I mean, it looks great. Look at it, it's beautiful. Smells so good too with all that lemon zest. So good. Okay, so we'll be back for that. All right, time to check on the breadcrumbs. I mean, they're not looking too toasty just yet, but let's see. No, they gotta go back in there. So I'm just gonna kind of mix them up. I mean, so that was definitely more than 15 minutes so far. It was probably more like, I don't know, 30, and they're going back in. So normally when I do this, I kind of pre-shred my bread into like crumbs. They're still bigger crumbs, but not like as big as that. Those are chunks. Normally I do it a little bit more, but I didn't feel like taking out my food processor just yet, so they're just gonna go back in. But I think we are ready to do my my marshmallows, and I did take off the stems off cherries, and I have this in with vinegar and baking soda for the next 5 minutes to clean those, and then that will also be a nice little snack for today. All right, I'm gonna turn on the heat for this. We're gonna get this heated up and melted. I'm just using a silicone spatula because it's gonna be easier for me to take out the marshmallows from my dish afterwards. So I just have that heating up, and I'm gonna grab some of my dishes to put the marshmallows in. Okay, so while that's heating up, I got my dishes, and for these pans, I just grabbed some coconut oil, and I'm gonna spread it out on the bottom so that my marshmallows don't stick to the pan, and they're easy to kind of take out. So I literally just take my hand, grab some coconut oil because it's solid, it's solidified, and rub it all around the dish. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other one. It's gonna make a lot of marshmallows, but we all like snacking on them, including Hazel. She likes these too. I mean, she also likes the egg white ones, and this is good for her. It's just beef gelatin, and you know, it's all good. And maybe the sugar part is not as good for her, but it's not like she has them all the time. So my dishes are now ready for my marshmallows whenever that's done, but it's gonna be a while. All right, back to this. Let's get this mixing in here and just kind of melting down. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off, and we're gonna get this in my mixer. Okay, let's get this poured in here. Alright guys, so I'm gonna have this on. I'm gonna start off on low, and it just looks like this, but as it keeps blending and cooling down, it's gonna get to be like a white foamy consistency. These cherries from Costco are actually really good, and it's not even cherry season, but they taste delicious. And I mainly had them to make my cherry extract, which is why I have fresh cherries, but I have so many leftovers, so I will happily eat them. Okay, so it's starting to get frothier on top. The underneath is still not, but I'm gonna put it a little higher. Alright, it's definitely getting lighter, but we're still not quite there yet. It's still gonna get even a little bit more lighter than that. I totally forgot about my breadcrumbs though. So, hope those are fine. They're looking pretty toasty now. Yeah, I think those are good now. Okay, I'm just gonna stop it to see if it's where I want it to be, and not quite, a little bit more. I think it's like just about there. All right, definitely ready. It's starting to get thicker. All right, and this hardens fairly fast, guys, so you kind of have to work fast. Like if I was to put the coconut oil afterwards, I wouldn't have had like time. This has already hardened on my finger, and this is starting to harden. As you guys could see, it's no longer like a liquid. So you definitely have to work fast, but it's nice and foamy and delicious. So I'm just gonna let this cool before it goes in the fridge, and then this will just cool the rest of the time in the fridge. I got my food processor out, and I'm hoping that this works with my breadcrumbs because I really loved my other food processor. I'm not sure I like this one just as much yet, but I put in my Italian seasoning into the bottom, I put in my salt, and now we're gonna do the breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna get this started. They're definitely larger. Okay, now this is kind of becoming like a powder. I don't want it to become, I mean, it's not a powder just yet, but I don't want it to become finer than this. So I'm just gonna take everything out. And I'm gonna stick everything else in here. I don't know, I probably could have done this where I stuck it all in to begin with, but I don't really know how this food processor works just yet, so. And it's supposed to be for every, what is it, 1 cup of breadcrumbs, I add in half a teaspoon of salt. I did 2 cups right now, but it looks like we're coming closer to 3 or 4. So I think I'm gonna add in another half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and like I said before, normally I do garlic powder and onion powder. However, I am making this Hazel safe this time because she does like to eat breaded chicken and stuff too, so I'm making it Hazel friendly. So no garlic powder, no onion powder. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna leave it. Is it at, now it's even closer to 6 cups. Is that cups? I think that's cups. I'm gonna add in another scoop, and actually I need to get more Italian seasoning. I'm gonna throw in the rest of that, but I do need to now add Italian seasoning to my Target order. So what did we add yesterday? I forgot. We added something yesterday too. And now I'm gonna add Italian seasoning. So that looks good. I'm gonna get these packaged up and then into the freezer. So I like to freeze them in 1 cup amounts, and I just put them in a little baggie. So I ended up getting about 4 cups of breadcrumbs, not as much as I had wanted, but that's also all I had in my freezer stash, so it's still better than nothing because I was literally down to half a cup in my freezer, so it works. And these aren't as fine as my last one, so the last batch I made was actually in my Vitamix blender because I didn't have a food processor anymore, and those were just like fine powder. These will at least have some crunch to them because there is some like larger bits in here, so I think these will work out fantastic. Can you guys see the difference with the super fine ones? They're like a different color. But that's what we had, and we still used it. It was fine. It just wasn't, you know, ideal. But now we have some more breadcrumbs in my stash. Alright guys, next up is the cabbage. Since I already have my food processor out, I thought I would clean this up and see if I could just shred this in the food processor rather than having to try and chop it. So I'm going to take off all the top layers of the cabbage, and then we are going to try and do that. I'm not going to turn this into sauerkraut today. I don't feel like it. It's still going to take 2 weeks anyway, but right now I just kind of want to go back upstairs into my craft room. I was still going to make tortillas and stuff, but I am kind of pooped, and Babe came home early. He wasn't having a good day. So yeah, I'm going to go do other stuff instead of being more in the kitchen. So this is going to be my last thing that I do. So I'm going to go ahead and wash this. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. Oh my god. I need a better knife than this. Definitely need to use a bigger knife rather than my small, short knife. Am I supposed to get that whole piece out? I don't know. I don't even know if my food processor is gonna shred this up how I want it to be shredded, so we're about to find out, but I don't feel like cutting it. Okay, so I added this blade. This is the thin, oh wait, small shred or large shred? Oh. I don't know. Maybe we'll do the small shred. If that doesn't work so good, we'll switch it over to the large shred. Okay, I rinsed my pieces here. And hopefully this works. So, pop that on. Larger shred. I'm not sure I like this one. Like, I don't need it to be that thin. Alright, here is the large shred. I just wish this had a larger hole for me to put stuff through. Because this next piece, I don't think that's gonna fit. Gotta cut them in half. I mean, this is still pretty small. Maybe I'm supposed to do the slicing attachment. Definitely smaller than I was expecting. I was thinking definitely more like sauerkraut and not like this. Okay, so I'm gonna try the slicer next, I think. And we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so going back to this one, this had the small shred, but the other slice is the thin slice, so we're gonna try that next. This food processor is all new to me, so I am figuring it out as I go as well. Some more, but this is looking a little full, so I'm going to take this out. Those last couple of pieces need a rerun, but I think this turned out definitely better. I don't even know what to do with the other one. I was only planning to do one batch of sauerkraut anyway, and that would have been 2 batches, so I mean, that looks pretty good. This is some nice thinly shredded sauerkraut for the most part. So I think that's the better attachment, and it's the thin slice attachment. So I made my sauerkraut, guys. Totally forgot to film it, but here is my sauerkraut. I do need to clean it up a little because some of my brine left the building here. And it's not even like brine, it's just from the cabbage. It's the liquid from pressing down the cabbage and whatever water is in there, but it needs to soak and like be in its own juices in order for this to ferment. And it has to be at room temperature. So I got my cabbage here, and I am gonna get my fermenting lid. That's what I did last time, and it turned out fantastic, even though they just say to put like a thing on it and shake it every so often. But I have a fermenting lid, so I'm gonna put this in the bottom. This is gonna help keep all of my cabbage down. Okay. It's gonna stay under the brine, and then we just got this piece on, and that's it. I'm making sauerkraut. Alright guys, so my cabbage is going to be ready in about 2 to 3 weeks. I'm just going to put this in my cabinet, and I'm going to put a reminder on my phone to check on it. I didn't need to shake it when I did this with like the pickling kind of top, the fermenting top kind of thing. So I didn't need to shake mine at all, and it was fantastic. So I'm just going to keep doing what worked for me. But I will link that video in case you guys want to make your own sauerkraut, and that is going to be it for today's video. So we got majority of the stuff done that I wanted to do today. I still wanted to do, what did I want to make? Tortillas, didn't get that done, but it's okay. I felt like I still did a ton of other stuff, ton of other little things that all just took a lot of time, between chocolate chip cookies, marshmallows, we did the breadcrumbs, we did sauerkraut. What else did we do? Oh, we started making bread, which I have to shape later. I don't know, what else did we make? I feel like we did so much. Alright guys, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video in Carolina's kitchen. Bye!